In the mid-1800s, Americans fled to the West in droves in search of gold and a better life. But according to the Emigrant's Guide to California, published in 1849, it was the gold rushers who rested most, specifically by observing the Sabbath, that reached their destination the quickest. As the guide shares, quote, "Those who laid by on the Sabbath, resting themselves and their team, reached gold country 20 days sooner than those who traveled 7 days a week," end quote. The gold rushers example illustrates a fascinating paradox. Oftentimes, rest is the most productive thing we can do. And not just Sabbath rest. As the scientific community now understands, bi-hourly breaks throughout the workday and an 8-hour sleep opportunity every night are essential to doing our most exceptional work. Throughout the Gospels, we see Jesus embodying these 3 rhythms of productive rest. He offered restorative breaks to his disciples as they worked. See Mark 6:30-32. He fought for sleep. See Mark 4:38. And he reaffirmed the goodness of Sabbath. See Mark 2:27. Of course, because he is our creator, Jesus knew what centuries of scientific exploration have now empirically proven, that these rhythms of rest are productive as we strive toward our goals. But Jesus also undoubtedly knew something science may never be able to prove, that rest is also productive for our souls. Taking breaks throughout your workday reminds you that God doesn't need you to finish your to-do list. Getting a full night's sleep reminds you that God is the only being who neither slumbers nor sleeps and thus doesn't need you or me to keep the world spinning. Sabbath reminds you that, in the words of N.T. Wright, all time belongs to God and stands under the renewing lordship of Jesus Christ. These truths bring us to the 6th principle we need for redeeming our time. Principle number 6, embrace productive rest. To redeem our time in the model of our Redeemer, we must embrace the God-designed rhythms of rest, which are counterintuitively productive for our goals and our souls. How practically do we incorporate these bi-hourly, nightly, and weekly rhythms of rest into our modern lives? I've recorded a short video showing you how I practice one of them, Sabbath, with my young family. You can find a link to that video in the text version of today's devotional right here in the YouVersion Bible app.
The apostles returned to Jesus from their ministry tour and told him all they had done and taught. Then Jesus said, "Let's go off by ourselves to a quiet place and rest a while." He said this because there were so many people coming and going that Jesus and his apostles didn't even have time to eat. So they left by boat for a quiet place where they could be alone. Jesus was sleeping at the back of the boat with his head on a cushion. The disciples woke him up, shouting,
"Teacher, don't you care that we're going to drown?"
Then Jesus said to them, "The Sabbath was made to meet the needs of people, and not people to meet the requirements of the Sabbath. So the Son of Man is Lord even over the Sabbath."